Welcome everybody to the Velocity Dirt Tour UMP Modified Series here at Lernerville Speedway. As we take a look through the field as they get ready to go out for for the pace laps. Taylor, is there any choice of a car that you think is going to do good here tonight, and what do you expect from the track? I mean, we saw a very top dominant race the other night in the late models. What do you think? How different do you think the mods will be?
I think kind of how everything's being worked in and how the heat races went. I think it's going to be majority top again. I think it's even going to be more top dominant as it was in the super lates. I know it kind of stayed up top, but I think just with the mods and how they're set up, I think we're going to be sitting up top. And as far as cars go, I think it's a pretty stacked field tonight. I'm not even sure who I can have as a favorite. You still have a couple of guys from the super late, races coming in tonight. I think Clifford Driscoll, he's going to have to start in the rear for winning last week, but I think he's always a strong contender in these.
No doubt about that. And I feel like we got a stacked field, but I feel like a lot closer of a field in this modified series. I feel like you can kind of depend on more cars to be, able to win. And then obviously our points leader of Clifford Driscoll, I mean, he's got a very tough task today. I mean, leading points, but now having to start from the tail here at Lernerville, that's a tough task to pull off.
As they take the outside, packing in the outside here, we got our top 12 from our redraw. We took top 4 from each heat race. Who do you see here as your top favorite? I think it's going to be pretty important for your position, so who stands out here?
Oh man, oof. I think I'm gonna have to go with give me Tosh. He usually runs good at this racetrack. This is kind of his style of racetrack, if you ask me. I think that he looked really good in heats, and I think that he's got a good opportunity here.
I think I might go with Braden Tuttle as a car to watch out for. He's just a couple weeks back into the league, but he's been pretty strong with some top fives and very strong. I think at Fairbury he was very strong in these UMPs, so excited to see what he can do tonight.
No doubt. Anybody from this back that you feel like can have that drive forward tonight?
I feel like Brian Thomas always finds a way through the field, even when he starts in the rear. In the super lates, he's quick, and especially in these UMPs, usually finds a way through that field.
I'm gonna have to go with Clifford Driscoll, man. I feel like if there's anybody that can start from the tail that we've got that runs frequently in this UMP series, it has got to be him. I mean, his ability to start from the tail and go to the front, it's just very insane.
And we have a 5,000 I-rating cap for this series, so just a handful of names from last night's race. A couple new names out there. How about the 99 of Cooper Cockrell getting into the show tonight? Gonna be exciting to see what he can do out there.
Yeah, very cool to see him up front, up in that transfer, or I mean, excuse me, in that top 12 redraw. Interested to see if he can hold his own up there. As pace lights will go off on the pace car, it'll be Taylor Rahn and Jaron Valley leading us to the green off of turn number 4 this time by. Very interested to see how this race is going to go, and obviously in the modified, smaller tire, less laps tonight than that late model race, so I don't think tire wear is going to be as crucial, but we'll see how they manage it. It's off of 4. We are green flag racing here at Lernerville in the UMP Modifieds. Taylor Rahn out to the lead. Looks like Buck in the 92 car going to go low to try to make a run on Jaron Valley. Valley with a good run up top will clear. Kenzer Tosh looking to run down Buck as he's got Mitch Webb challenging from behind there. You see Dill up high, gets a little tight with Heather Kent in contact there with Heather Kent in the 15 car. Looks like they keep it going. The Stags into the wall big there on the straightaways. We've got a flip there as Trenton pole for a wild ride there. Barrel rolling down the front straightaway.
Take a look at what happened there.
Yeah, see off the top, big contact ahead, nowhere to go, and just, oh my goodness. A wild ride there for him.
Another look at it, see who else involved. A couple cars, other cars involved. Daniel George Sr. with a lot of damage, as well as Alex Hayes.
Yeah, poor for Alex there. Big nose damage on that car. Definitely gonna have to get it fixed, especially in these modifieds, man. Like, Nose damage is so important in these modifieds. You've got to keep them clean. As you see, Zach Staggs, the 79's in. Alex is in, the 56, the 15. That looks like Cooper Cockrell in the 99. He's going to go behind the wall. So several cars involved in an early accident here. Be interested to see how those guys can bounce back. And just right there, Clifford Driscoll going to pick up several spots as it shows him already up to 15th.
There's Braden Tuttle up there as well, but using that first faster pair on lap 2, you're going to have to almost play a little bit of conservative, at least for the first half of that race. You get 2 faster pairs. You definitely don't want to burn those 2 up in the first couple laps of these races.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like usually modifieds are cleaner here than, like a late model. But at the same time, like we talked about it last night with, fast repairs, you've got to, don't burn them up too quick as we're coming to green here as Taylor Ron will fire off. Back underway. Hopefully we can get a longer green flag run here. 3 down. As you see Valley. Buck trying the outside, looking for the run. He's pulling on Valley and will take control of that second place spot as Valley will go off the racetrack. Looks like spinning. Keeps it rolling and will bring out the yellow. Tough break there for Jaron Valley. Looks like just tries to set the car, gets up high, and then just tricky. Lernerville, no outside wall. Obviously, that's kind of the tricky part about this racetrack is it's a top dominant racetrack with no outside wall, so it can be very sketchy there.
Especially towards the end of those races, when that high side slicks off, if you set it wrong, you're flying off of that side of the track. And that can be a race ruiner real quick.
As you take a look here, Mitch Webb having a good run here with several of these cars. Heather Kent has been so consistent this season, currently sitting at 8th place right now. As you see Brian Thomas, he's always up there. Clifford Driscoll trying to work his way through a lot of these cars back here in the back that were caught up in that previous incident. Have to see how they can get it going here. Definitely got to play it safe if you're back there. Cannot afford to burn up another one of those fast repairs. Pace lights are off once again. We're going to try to get some more laps in the book here.
Mitch Webb, looks like Buck choosing that outside line. He got a great run off that last restart off of Jaron Valley. See if Mitch Webb can do anything on that low line.
Yeah, I'm interested. I feel like the top is better right now. I feel like for Mitch, he's usually really good on the bottom as we're back underway here. Green flag is out. Taylor on still controlling this race lead. As you see, Tuttle will peak low contact there with Tosh in the 11 as Buck got a big run of momentum there down the backstretch. It's a battle here between the 07 and the 11. Off from turn 4, back into 1. You see Buck and Tuttle starting to catch the 21 here as now Tuttle and Mitch Webb got a battle going on there for 3rd, and we are under yellow once again.
Interesting on that last little stint. You saw a couple cars doing a little staying up high and then diving low. See if people keep doing that for the remainder of that race.
Oh, huge crash.
Couple of those guys that used that first faster pair in that one.
Yep. Staggs, Jr., and Cooper, all 3 of those guys, I believe out of fast repairs now once they use this next one. Is big damage there for the 17, and that's definitely going to be his last one as already had that flip earlier tonight. So we are having a little bit of a struggle to get green flag laps going here.
Yeah,
I think, though, that
being able to get in that groove, just short little stints, it'll really be adamant once we get that first long green flag run to see how these cars handle this track tonight.
No doubt, but if you're a guy like Clifford Driscoll, you love to see it. Get 3 or 4 laps, pick up a couple positions, caution comes out, re-rack them, do it again. Don't want the field to get too spaced out if you're Clifford, but he seems to be having no problem on moving through this field so far. Pace lights are off once again. We get ready to go green once again.
A little bit of shuffling going around. Looks like Braden Tuttle going to be taking that inside this time instead of that outside.
Yeah, I'm interested here on what Buck can do. He had a great run on that last restart, but Tuttle and Mitch both were there. And that's exactly what the 21 wants to see, having a battle behind him. Is once again, you see Buck with a good run on the top. Just Mitch does not have that momentum on the bottom as Kinzer almost goes around. He manages to hold it straight, and then contact with Heather Kent's around, and we got us another yellow.
There's a lot of guys fighting for those positions early on in this one.
The left front damage there for Kinzer. I think he's going to have to use a fast repair there. See him trying to feel it out, zigging left and right, trying to see if he can feel it. Is big damage on the 64 car. Looks like the 40 gets into Kinzer, spins him sideways. They save it, they check up. Then Heather kind of gets nailed, tries to set the car, and then gets into Kinzer once again, and then just chaos unfolds. And we do have if you cause 2 incidents, that is the end of your night. So a lot of these guys have to be careful not to cause too many incidents.
Yeah, Brian Thomas up there right in front of Driscoll. Right up there, getting through. Just surviving these incidents seems like you're going to be in the top 10 with a great rest of this night.
See Kinzer coming back out. Now he's going to have to work from the tail. It's Clifford Driscoll already up to 10th place. I mean, in the snap of a finger. I mean, he is definitely on his way to the front as we go green single file. Green flag is out. The 21 of Taylor on out to the lead. As Tuttle with a big dive to the inside. Mitch Webb with a good run off the top. See how much better I feel like that top is there as Buck begins to run down the 21. And he is there. We have a battle for the lead off of turn number 4. Give it to Ron that lap, but Buck all over the rear bumper there. Continuing to work that high line, or almost like a middle line there. Ron still controls the race lead into 3. Ron will slide up. Buck will look down low to see if he can find any grip given to Ron that time again, who stays clear. As we've got one around, that's going to be Christopher P. Ryan goes around there. Not a lot of damage, I don't see.
I like Braden Tuttle's line, just staying outside and then diving under, almost the same speed as hooking on that outside line.
2 cars just get tangled there.
It's like Jason
Couldn't
Martin
get off of
and
each other.
Christopher Freerine in that one.
Get a little bit of nose damage there on the 13 car, which I believe is staying out though. Don't think he's pitting. It's Jason Martin trying to feel his car out. Front end does look a little bit beat up, but I believe he's going to stay out as well, as it's been a tough day for him. And that race at the front was just getting good too. Only 10 laps in the books. We will get to fire off once again. I believe this is going to stay single file. As keep a look there, Brian Thomas and Lockdale, that is currently your 4th and 5th place in points, and it is only separated by 10 points. So keep an eye on that. That is racing for a lot for that top 5 in points.
I want to keep an eye on that 182 of Matt Durbin. He's got a super late model win, and he's up into that 5th spot after starting the back half of this one.
Yeah, very interesting to keep an eye on him as pace lights are off. We will go green once again. See if we can't log some more laps here. Maybe can get a green flag run. See how it'll pan out. It'll be single file once again. We will stay single file until maybe these guys can clean it up.
A little bit of gaps between cars in this one.
Yeah, one car just not getting up there. Off of 4, green flag is out. As you're going to see Ron go to that middle line. Buck on the middle line. Mitch trying a little bit higher. You see Tuttle on the bottom just not getting that momentum off of 2. See, they'll all slide up. Buck to the high line. Can he get the run to get door to door? He will. And off into 1 and 2. Buck to the high line. He will clear Ron off of 2. Ron fighting back on the inside. Off of turn number 4, give that lap to Buck, new race leader. It's a battle now for 2nd. Taylor kind of gets stuck on the bottom there as you see Mitch Webb going to go around on the top. Got way sideways though, and that's going to allow the 21 to fight back. 21 will kind of slide up there. Mitch Webb gets a little tight. Now Tuttle side-by-side battle for 2nd. Now Mitch Webb and Tuttle trying to trade some paint there for 3rd. Tuttle on the bottom slides up a little bit on Mitch Webb's nose.
You peek right
Is
there. Look who it is. 63 of
yep,
Driscoll. Making his
knocking
way into the
on the
sixth
door.
spot.
As you see a battle there. Brian Thomas, Jaron Valley, Alex Hayes. What a job he's done to kind of bounce back. I mean, to 13th after being in the back, caught up in a big wreck. That's a great job by him. So battle here between Trenopole and Heather Kent. Kent working that middle line, runs him up the track, contact, and into the wall goes Trenopole. I believe we are still green here. And yes, we are. Surprisingly, the 17 did not break the right front there. Big contact between those two, though, as Ron with a crossover on Tuttle will clear on the straightaway, and caution is out once again. Have to see. I believe this one might be the might be Trenopole with some damage. Nope, it's gonna be the 56 of Derek Jester off the racetrack in turn 2. Don't see a lot of damage. Might have just went off. Oh, never mind. There is some nose damage on that car for sure. Be interested to see what happened to him.
So you pull off, head to the pits.
On the high line, him and injuries make contact, and just a violent crash there for him. And oh, up and over, the second flip of the day here at Lernerville.
Bringing the excitement tonight.
No doubt about it. Tonight has been a wild one. 2 flips in 1 race, and we're not even close to being done yet.
Our first long stint. What have you seen so far? First couple green flag lap runs. Anything sticking out to you?
I mean, it looks like Buck has definitely got that short run speed down. Driscoll is definitely on his way to the front long run wise, and then I don't know, man. I feel like Jaron Valley has looked pretty good. Struggled in that late model race. Interested to see if he can maybe fight back here in the mod.
Yeah, especially after falling off in that second battle for that second spot and making his way up. I saw Daniel George Jr. up into the 11th spot after I think 2 wrecks earlier, using both of his faster pairs, but able to fight his way back into the 11th spot.
What a position you're in right now if you're Mitch Webb or even Braden Tuttle or even the 21 of Taylor on, or I mean honestly, if you're anybody in this top 4 and you're looking in your mirror and you see Clifford Driscoll already up there, you know he's on his way to the front. His green flag back underway, and we are also at Tay-Tay's Tech Shed halfway home. So you see Clifford Driscoll on the high line trying to make a run at Mitch Webb. Tuttle kind of slipped up. Webb with a big run down the backstretch. Into 3, Tuttle will slide up once again. Looking to the high line of Taylor Ron. A lot of momentum there off of 4. Webb to the inside now. Driscoll continuing to work that high line behind them as well, seeing if he can build a run on Webb, as Webb will slide all the way up. Tuttle to the outside trying to make a run on the 21. And we'll get there, cuts down, they make contact. Tuttle slides up. Driscoll will clear Mitch Webb, and now Driscoll up to P4 and looks to catch the 21 of Taylor Ron. Can Clifford Driscoll find his way into the top 3 already? To take a look here, Mitch Webb and Matt Durbin going at it. Also a little battle between Brandon Jones and Lock Dill off of turn 2 there. Looks like the 07 running that high line as well. A lot like the late model race, very top dominant racetrack, because there's Jaron Valley we were just talking about, trying to make a pass there on the 257.
And trying to get enough momentum on that backstretch to be able to throw a slider. It seems like a lot of these cars kind of that same speed are not able to clear them, just like right there with Valley on injuries.
You definitely have to, I feel like turn 2, you've got to find as much momentum as possible to try to set up a slider in 3. As you see Zach Staggs, what a job he's done, working his way up through the field.
A lot of these
Obviously,
cars, you see a lot staying super high, but there's also a little bit of cars doing that middle line, trying to catch a little bit of grip.
What a race that it's been for Zach Staggs. Obviously didn't make the show in the late model the other night. Now on his way toward the top 10 in the modified. Great job for him. You see Brandon Jones has gotten around the 07 and looks to charge at Mitch Webb. We're talking about Daniel George Jr. as we got one in the infield there. I believe that is going to bring a yellow out, I would assume. Still green. See Alex Hayes trying to work his way back to the front. Still trying to work that bottom. I think Alex needs to find his way up to the top. So it's still Buck, but Tuttle starting to run him down here. Might have us a battle for the race lead here soon. I mean, if you watched that late model race before, it was a perfect show there at the end. And now we've got another battle for the race lead as Tuttle will catch Buck here. A little bit of a straight line approach there off the corner, trying to build as much momentum as possible. It's Driscoll knocking on the door for third. Battle here between Brandon Jones. He will pass Mitch Webb on the high line. See a lot of guys trying that bottom, and I just don't think it's there right now.
Yeah, Brandon Jones involved in a couple early accidents, but he's able to make his way up there. That'll be a name to watch in case we get another caution here. His car is looking pretty strong in this run.
Look at Heather Ken starting to bounce back as well, starting to move his way forward. As contact there with the 56 and the 11, they're still banging doors. 5 laps to go, Tosh to the inside. That is for P16. As Buck has started to pull a gap between him and Braden Tuttle. 4 laps to go this time by. You take a look, battle for the top. See Taylor on trying to hold off Clifford Driscoll for that third spot, trying to hold on to the podium. Looks like the whole top 5 kind of stretched out as we are under yellow. That is not what those leaders wanted to see. See, it's going to be Jamie in the 25. Looks like he gets high, and off he goes. Gets it saved.
Right in front of the leaders.
Yeah, so just nowhere to pull back onto the racetrack without being in the way. So you see him kind of just trying to ride around on the top.
Might be a little entering issue with iRacing or something.
Or does he stop? Yeah, if you slow down too much, yeah. But that was the safe approach for him for sure. See Brian Thomas coming off of pit road there.
I think Braden Tuttle's going to throw anything he's got at this one. Buck is a very fast one here, but he was keeping up with him a little bit on that long distance run. I think Buck got a little bit of an advantage there, but we only have a couple laps here.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm interested as well to see what will Driscoll do coming from that 4th place spot. I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that's going to get aggressive here, try to make a move, try to make a pass. See a lot of these guys in the back going to try to work forward. Alex Hayes, Kinzer Tosh, Zach Staggs, a lot of those guys that were just up at the top 15 a few moments ago, starting to fall back here. Interested to see if they can bounce back. So we will get a single file restart here. Pace lights are off. It'll be Buck leading the way in the 92 car with Braden Tuttle in the 84 right behind him. Off into 3. And off of turn number 4. Green flag back underway. See Taylor on. Can he make a run? Can he go back up there and lead some more laps? Can he catch these leaders? As Buck with a huge run there. Driscoll trying the high line, looking for that 3rd place spot. And he will get to the door. It's off of turn 4. Give that lap to Driscoll for 3rd there. As Buck still controlling this race lead. Tuttle, though, trying to make some momentum. Got a lot of momentum there. Will he try the slider line? He will dive it off and gets underneath him there. White flag is out. Buck still controlling it. Driscoll going to look for a Hail Mary slide job. Slides up, doesn't get a lot of momentum. Off into 3, protecting the line. Buck protecting that slider line. And off of 4, Buck is going to pick up the win as Tuttle collects the wall. And a pile up there at the end. Still will be a 2nd place finish for him. Give Driscoll 3rd. Ron 4th.
Matt Durbin
what a
with
win
5th
there.
place.
Yep.
Solid run for him. Car doesn't look too bad after that one for Tuttle.
No doubt. Yeah, wild ride there, but what a win there for Buck. I mean, just super fast car there at the end. Great job for him. I mean, he controlled the pace. The second he got around the 21, kind of controlled the pace and was able to run away with it. Great job for him.
Yeah, I think it was the strongest car here tonight. A little bit shocked after for Clifford Driscoll. You just wonder if it was just too much tires getting through the 20 some cars he had to get through. Not too much at the end there. Maybe a couple more laps would have been it, but nice to see Buck pulling out this one.
No doubt about it. He's been just getting faster every week, and I feel like he's always a car that shows up that can win every single night. So you see some tough breaks though. Kinder Tosh up there in the top five a majority of the day. I mean, won a heat race today, and then finishes 19th. Cooper Cockrell, another one that started up front. Unfortunately, coming down in 18th there is his finishing spot. There's Brandon Jones collecting a top five. Great job for him. Matt Durbin, sixth. Another car that's been super good all year long.
I saw
Taylor
Brian
on
Thomas
continues.
towards the back there. He had a strong car, was right up there with Driscoll. Actually, was ahead of him, but just one late caution ends up him in the rear.
Yeah, and you see for Clifford's sake too, battle for that points lead. Finishing in front of the 21 was very important for him, and he managed to pull that off. And obviously, Brian Thomas with a tough day, like I was talking about earlier, that battle with the '07 for the points. You see the '07 finished ninth, and Brian Thomas, had a rough day, so that's gonna create a gap there in the points for that top five.
Yeah, anything can happen on these nights. You come in with a nice points lead and 5 to go, you get involved in a new caution, and with the point system, that can really swing some things in these point standings.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, this was your Velocity Dirt Tour UMP Modifieds at Lernerville, as it is going to be Buck bringing home the win. Everybody come back and see us next week, and everybody have a great night.